Hello everyone, welcome back to Next Gen Competition. We are here at the Texas Motor Speedway for round 3 of Season 6 in Project IndyCar, here for the Bois F115. We are looking forward to today's event. We are just coming to the end of practice now. The drivers had a 20-minute practice session to prepare for qualifying. A couple more drivers should be getting in for quali and then the race. We're expecting a field of 8 for today. Yes, qualifying will be 20 minutes long. Each driver will get, it'll be single car runs, so one car on the track at a time. They get to do a flying lap, they get to do two flying laps, then an in lap, and then they just queue up at the end of the pit lane for the next car to go. And then if there's time, multiple of them can have an attempt at the session there. So there's your time for practice, and the most notable thing for that is that Aston Lewis has got himself 2 place grid penalty from practice. I'm not quite sure he's managed to do that, but he has, so fair play to him as we now move on into qualifying for today's event. All the cars now in the pit lane, getting ready for this session. Just going to make their way down to the end of the pit lane now, and then we should see them all parking at the end of the pit lane, where they'll then queue up and get ready for this qualifying session. Most of the cars here getting ready for the session. Got a couple taking a little bit longer, as already it would appear Aaron McFall's managed to get a speeding in the pit lane penalty. Yep, 1 place grid penalty for him. See them now just queuing up, getting ready for this session. See them just getting ready, and now we've got our first car making their way onto the racetrack, and that is Aaron McFall. He'll be the first driver to set a lap time in the session. Driver for Fast Formula Racing in the number 10 Chip Ganassi racing car. Making his way off the corner. Gets a little bit loose on exit there, but he's going to now get ready to start his first flying lap. He's feeling they're warming up the tyres. And he makes his way into the final couple of corners, just setting up his lap now. Running through the banking down towards the start-finish line. So with the start of Aaron's first lap here, across the line, making his way down towards turn 1. Getting ready to turn the car on at high speed, flat out all the way through here in turns 1 and 2, and he's taking a very high and wide line there. That's not going to be the quickest way around the circuit. You want to keep it pinned to that white line on the inside. But, you know, maybe he's going to build up some momentum here for his second lap, because they do, of course, have 2 attempts. This time he gets a little bit close to that inside line. But that really could be the difference maker in your qualifying pace, is on the basis of how close do you get to that inside line. And if you touch it, you could very much unsettle the car and lose a little bit of time. So it really is a balancing act, as now we see him sending into turn 1 again, and he's struggling to get the car turned down, and he's into the wall. Contact, and he's spun it around. Aaron is around on the apron there, backing it into the barriers. And that is the first qualifying attempt of the session down. And Aaron has spun around and before nearly contact there as the next car has exited the pits. I believe that was the number 6 car of Adam Richardson. And he will be the next driver to attempt a qualifying lap in the session. He comes through the final couple of corners now. And you'll see with the way this is designed, it is, as soon as one car finishes their lap, the next one's ready to go. So don't have to worry about 5-minute breaks between each driver's lap. So now we see, going down into turn 1, Adam Richardson keeping it as low as he can. He sees half a car width off the inside, so not quite perfect, but definitely getting much closer than Aaron did. Down the back straight you go now. 5th gear all the way down here. It might just start to rev as you turn it into the corner. Gets it through nicely, down into 4th gear at the apex. Again, just leaving a bit of safety to the inside line, as you probably would on your first attempt. And across the line, Adam Richardson goes almost 4 attempts quicker than Aaron McFall. Now on his second attempt, tyres starting to get into a bit better of a working window now. As he makes his way through turns 1 and 2, he's already nearly a 10th up on his lap. Let's see what he can do. Down the back straight, puts it up into 5th gear. Going to use all of that engine power. Down the back straight, still 10th up on his lap, making his way out of the final corner now. Did keep it a little bit lower there on this attempt. Across the line now, how much quicker? It's going to be just under a 10th quicker there for Adam Richardson. And he has stepped up his lap attempt there. And the next driver to start a lap will be Afonso Silva, who comes out of the final corner now, and he will now start his first flying lap here at the Texas Motor Speedway for qualifying. He sends it into the first corner here, driving for the Phoenix Motorsport, for the Pythagon Racing team here, and he sticks it in 5th gear through turns 1 and 2 in the Honda car there. So the Honda and Chevy, slightly different in terms of how the car handles. During this era of IndyCar, they had different aerodynamics as well as having different engines, unlike in modern IndyCar where it is fully spec'd. And he will go into second there, just over 4 attempts off of the quickest. But you see here, look, he's keeping it in 5th, and it's not helping him in getting the car down. He's having to arc the corner much more sort of steadily, not being able to make an aggressive turn down to the inside. So as he makes his way into 3 and 4 here, he's not being able to carry the same momentum, and whilst he's now improving by 10th, it's not going to be a lap that's going to contend for pole position here. He makes his way out of the final corner, across the line goes Silva, and does get within 3/10 of the quickest time, but no closer than that, as the next driver we'll see is Jono Mills, one of the longest serving drivers here in the Project IndyCar series, been here since the beginning, but still yet to get that elusive victory in the series. Could tonight be the night? A smaller field, some big names missing around an oval like Texas. He knows what he's doing around here. He could be a contender tonight. So he makes his way down the back straight. Let's see what he can do. Also in a Honda, driving for his own team, Jonathan Mills Racing. Making his way through turns 3 and 4 here. JMR are the only team today that will have 3 cars racing, as now he makes his way through the quad oval, across the line, and his first lap puts him up into 3rd place, now turning into 1 and 2 here. What's he going to do? He keeps it in 5th gear, just like Silva did, and he's going to basically copy him, but he's already getting to 10th here, so whilst he's doing sort of the same thing, it's looking like it's perhaps working a little bit better. He's still a 10th up. It's going to be close with Silva. He needs to find 2 temps really, so I think Silva's going to have that 2nd place for now. Coming across the line now goes Mills, and he just jumps up into 2nd place by 0.02 of a second. Very close there from Jonathan Mills, and he's now up into 2nd place and just ahead of Silva. And the next driver we will see, Aston Lewis, driver who's having a very successful Season 6 in most NGC series that he's competing in. He's a 5-time winner in the British Touring Challenge, 2-time winner in the NASCAR GT series. He's not competing in the Dirt Rally Championship, but here in IndyCar, he's yet to find that success. He got pole position in round 1, but all he has to show for it are 2 9th place finishes. So keep an eye on him today. Could this be his chance to finally start that championship challenge in Project IndyCar? Because he has shown some real pace so far this season, and already just 3 attempts off a really much better first attempt there than we've seen a lot of other drivers having, and he's just running a slightly higher line, running about a car width off the inside, and again another driver sticking it in 5th gear. Notice all these drivers that are sticking it in that 5th gear are all in Honda, so maybe we're seeing something there, but not a big improvement here from Aston Lewis on his 2nd lap. So obviously he's had a stronger first lap. Can he jump up into that fight for 2nd? Across the line now, he goes 3rd there, splits through by 1 millisecond. He's going to miss out on getting ahead of his teammate at Jonathan Mills Racing, that of course being Jono Mills himself. The next driver started lap should have been Kyle Albert, but he appears to not be qualifying, so it will instead be Aaron Fuller's. Kyle has actually now left, sadly, but now Aaron is going to start his first flying lap of the session and makes his way down into the 1st corner. Second flying lap of the session, I believe, actually, my mistakes, because of course he was the first driver to set a lap time. So these drivers are all going to get a couple of attempts now in this session. Give them all plenty of time to prepare and get their lap times up. Across the line, 4 attempts down on the best lap, or his best lap even, so let's see what he can do now through 1 and 2. Can he avoid keeping it out of the, well, can he keep it out of the wall? As Kyle gets back in, which is nice, that's good to see. As down the back straight goes Aaron McFall into 3 and 4. Keeping it pinned to that white line on the inside, much better that time from Aaron McFall. This could be an improvement for the Irishman. Across the line, where will it take him? It will keep him in 5th place, but still a 10th gain, so that is a good improvement there for the driver of the number 10 for Fast Formula Racing. And the next driver to start a lap will be Adam Richardson as he makes his way through turns 1 and 2 here. The driver currently top of the session. He is going to try and step that lap time up. He's going to push the limit a bit more now. He's got what is clearly a very good lap time in already in this session. He can risk this 2nd attempt, especially given there's a good chance he'll get a 3rd in as well. So he can really start to really find the limit and, well, push the limit, I think, as well here. So get ready, this could be an exciting lap. Adam Richardson down into turn 1, the pole sitter last time out at Long Beach, with an absolutely incredible lap time, I must say. He makes his way through turns 1 and 2 here. Let's see what this lap time can be. We'll wait and see what the delta shows us. He is down by attempts, so maybe he's tried a little bit too hard areas. We've got a couple of sort of connectivity issues, I believe, at the moment. So hopefully those resolve themselves. But now down across the line, and indeed, attempt down at the end of the lap. Problem there for him. So not the lap he would have wanted, and he will now make his way into the pit lane as the next driver to start a lap will be Afonso Silva, who comes through turns 1 and 2 now. And you are seeing, if you're wondering why we're seeing a few lag spikes here, it's just because there's a couple of cars loading into the session. That's causing the lag spikes. They are not going to be something to have to worry about in the race or anything like that. It's just purely when the cars load into the pit lane, and hopefully we won't have too many of those, although Kyle is back in again now, so maybe he'll cause no one. But now we see Alfonso across the line, and he's down by just under a tenth, but for a first lap, that is promising, as he now makes his way down into turns 1 and 2. Again, running that sort of car width off the inside, trying to maybe carry a bit more momentum with a bit more increased banking up there, just turning the wheel less, it's sort of as simple as that. Maintaining that sort of constant line. You can see him now making his way through 3 and 4, keeps it pinned to the exit on the inside, and now we see, where is he going to go? It's not able to improve, just 19 milliseconds off his previous best. Next driver to start a lap will be Jonathan Mills here as he makes his way out of the pit lane. Coming across the line now, he starts his second attempt, and his first lap of this second attempt begins as he takes a higher line through turns 1 and 2. Again, maybe we're seeing some drivers try and build up momentum using this first lap, knowing that the colder tyres are going to sort of impede their chances at setting a blistering first lap. Maybe they're just sort of trying to carry the momentum on the first lap to build up for that second lap, which is where the speed and the grip really comes to you. So let's see now, what can John Mills do through turns 1 and 2 for the second attempt on this run. Makes his way through there, and again, just a millisecond up there, so a small, tiny improvement, but he's got some time to find. You can see there, very noticeably, you can see the difference between some of the quicker drivers and some of the slower drivers. It's quite clear, I think, to me, that you can see just the lanes they're running. The higher, the slower it seems so far, and also that fourth gear that only Adam Richardson has used so far is clearly working very well. As we now see him onto the apron now, and the next driver will start their lap time, and that is Aston Lewis, currently sitting in third place. Is he going to go for a fourth gear strategy? He's currently in fourth gear, and he's going to up into fifth gear across the line. What will he do going into turns 1 and 2? He gets it lower on entry, but the car washes up at the apex of the corner. You can see that that's just a lack of grip from the tyre. So whilst he's able to keep it pinned, he gets it in down to the white line on the inside, but then the car just disagrees basically and moves itself back up the racetrack. But he is improving still. It shows that he has found something here on this second attempt. What will the lap time be? It is a perfectly equal lap time, but that's good for him because that was his first attempt on this run. Let's see what he can do this time around, making his way through 1 and 2, and you can see there, that's the difference that the grip brings. Already 600ths of a second up, which would put him up into second. Still a big gap up to first, but let's see what he can do here through 3 and 4. Still 600ths up as he makes his way off of turn 4 through the quad oval now. What will his lap time be? It is an improvement by just under a tenth, just almost a tenth there. That does now put him up into second place in this session. Very interesting to see that from Aston Lewis, someone who could be starting to find some progression in this session. And the next driver to start a flying lap will be the number 9 for Fast Formula Racing. That is Scott Sandover there. He was one of the late entrants, so this will be his first attempt in the session. He's on his first lap now. A driver who has shown great prowess on the ovals in the past. He knows what he's doing when it comes to turning left, but still not quite with that outstanding result that he's been looking for on these tracks. He is a big fan of these sorts of circuits. He jumps straight up into 5th place. Makes his way through 1 and 2 now on his second lap of this run. And you see there, he pins it right on the inside. He's up a tenth already. He goes for that 4th gear. He's trying that alternative gearing strategy that we've seen Richardson try as well. Makes his way in to 3 and 4 now. He's a little bit wide of the inside, but not too far. He's still going to be able to keep it nice and pinned on the exit. Where is this lap time going to put him? It is up into 2nd place. A massive first lap there from Scott Sandover. Huge attempt there for him, and could prove crucial in this qualifying session. Really impressive stuff there from the Brit there, as on his first attempt, whilst everyone else has had 2 attempts, goes up into 2nd place, and the next driver is Aaron McFall. His teammate is now beginning his lap, so he's now going to try and maybe take some tips from his teammate, try and find something out that he's been missing as he makes his way through 3 and 4 now, and out across the line. What will his first attempt look like? Across the line he goes, and it is 2 attempts down from his best. Now, let's see. This is the lap that we've seen being the quickest lap for everyone, but again, he's way up the racetrack, nowhere near the inside line at all. And going to 6th gear, you're not going to get any power with that at all. I don't think you might lose speed with 6th gear. It's an astonishing strategy, and maybe someone needs to give him some tips, to be honest, because he is clearly struggling as he gets into the outside wall there as well. So maybe someone needs to get on the phone to him. Maybe one of his teammates needs to give him the tip to help out. So yeah, that's unfortunate there for Aaron McFall, who's having some struggles in the session. As next up is Afonso. Yeah, oh no, it isn't. Sorry, it is it's Adam Richardson. So the driver currently sitting P1, he's about to start his third attempt in this session. Let's see what he can do on this attempt now. Going through 3 and 4, he's marginally down on this attempt. Out of the corner, what can he do? And he's down to the apron. That doesn't look like an improvement there from Adam Richardson. Next up will now be Afonso Silva. Afonso Silva now making his way into turn 1. He's going to go for that 4th gear strategy. Finally, we're seeing a Honda try this one out. Makes his way through turns 1 and 2. This is his first attempt, of course, though, so he's going to have the colder tyres, so maybe going to struggle just a tad. But still, look at that, a 10th up. It's a huge difference. The 4th gear's really finding something here, and maybe it isn't a Chevrolet thing. Maybe this is just something that some people have not known about, as he makes a huge jump up, straight up into 2nd place. That's a massive lap there from Afonso. Huge, huge lap. And that has put him up into 2nd place. As the next driver to set a lap will be Scott Sandover here. Let's see what he can do as he starts his first flying lap now, as we don't have long left in the session, so there won't be many drivers left to get a run in this session. Makes his way through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straight, he's down just a little bit, but it's his first attempt. Going to sound like a broken record, so I think you know it by now, but his first attempt, so the fact that he's pretty much breaking even on his lap time, really promising for him. Makes his way out of the final corner across the line now. Will he improve? Just a huge improvement actually for a first attempt. What will he do on his second attempt now? As he drives it down into turn 1 and 2 on this second attempt. What will this lap time bring? Could this be a potential pole time here for Scott Sandover down the back straight? He's up by a small amount. He's going to need to try and find something special as he goes into turns 3 and 4 now. He keeps it in 4th gear. He doesn't even shift up. This is something we haven't seen from someone else yet. This is unique from Scott Sandover. He comes out of the final corner now. Will it be pole position? It will! By 200ths of a second. Provisional pole position for Scott Sandover. That one I was not expecting. What a lap from Scott Sandover. He has found something there as now. John O'Mills, he's going to be the next driver to try and take that position away. Adam Richardson will not start this race from pole position. The driver that dominated this qualifying session so far, he is not going to be starting from pole. That is huge, huge, huge stuff now. As now we see, maybe the track is starting to ramp up, or maybe these drivers are finding some grip elsewhere, something that whilst Adam Richardson has been out front, just able to hammer in the lap times, just repeatedly doing what he's doing, because he's had that gap to the rest of the field. He hasn't needed to push the limits to find that little advantage. He hasn't sort of been able to look at someone else and go, that's where I'm losing time. Everyone else has been forced to innovate, to try and find something different, and that right there is proof of what that does. Huge, huge change there. And, well, that certainly changed the dynamics of this qualifying session. As to the top of the times went Scott Sandover. Can John O'Mills do anything about it? He comes across the line, and he is not able to improve, not even on his best lap time there. So a tough one there for John O'Mills. Only in 5th place. As the next driver to go on the track, it will be the first qualifying attempt for Kyle Albert in his debut here in Project IndyCar. He's going to make his way out of the front corner. He's had some technical issues to begin this session, but it looks like now he's starting to get a feel for things. That car may all be working again here. Makes his way down the back straight and towards turns 1 and 2. How is this one going to go for Kyle Albert? His first time in the league. It could be a bit of a struggle. He's not used to it, so we'll very much give him the benefit of the doubt in this first attempt. Just getting a feel for the car. He makes his way into turns 1 and 2 here for the first time. Puts it up to 4th gear immediately. He's doing something that some of the more experienced drivers are struggling to do here. Maybe that inexperience is helping him away. As now up into 5th gear down the back straight and towards 3 and 4. You can see the car sliding in the corners, turning it hard left, trying to get the car to rotate through the fire on the corner there and across the line. Where is he going to put the car? It is up into 5th place there. So already for his first lap of the session, that's very impressive from Kyle Albert as he keeps the car in that sort of middle of the track there. And he's already nearly a 10th up. This lap could put him up into the top 3 here. Kyle Albert has gone from technical issues for the first sort of 16 minutes of the session to now being a potential contender for the first couple of rows of the grid. He comes out of turn 4 now. Where is this lap time going to put Kyle Albert? He comes across the line and is going to go up into 3rd place. Unbelievable end to this qualifying session now. Kyle Albert, what a lap! That was something I was not expecting. As next up will be Aston Lewis and the final run of the day here in this qualifying session. Aston Lewis, what can he do? He's starting his final run and his first of 2 laps on this final run. He makes his way towards the final couple of corners on this first attempt. He is going to be looking to try and take that pole position away from Scott Sandover. As the grid currently runs, it's Scott Sandover, Adam Richardson, and then Kyle Albert. Aston Lewis across the line, 800ths down this first lap. But now, can he find some grip? Is the track improving? Is that why we're seeing this change to the session? Let's see now. Aston Lewis will make his way down the back straight. Is he finding time? Is he finding speed here on this next attempt? He is. He's going up nearly 1/10 of a second there on this second lap of this run. And what can he do? Comes out of turn 4 now, through the quad oval. What will it be? And it's 3rd place there. Just narrowly missing out on that fight for pole position, just 500ths off. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is qualifying over here. It is Scott Sandover on pole position for the Bois F1 115. That was an exciting session. Adam Richardson has a 1-place grid penalty. Aston Lewis with a 2-place grid penalty. That, I'm not sure of how it works. I know the F1 system. I don't know what the Project Cars 2 system is. So we could have a situation here where Kyle Albert, the rookie in Project IndyCar, could be starting on the front row here, which would be, I mean, I love a good storyline, and that would be unbelievable to witness. So let's see. At worst, it's 3rd for Kyle Albert, which is 2nd on the inside row. That's still amazing. But wow. That was a qualifying session that looked, I think it's fair to say, the first 10 minutes a bit dull. Not much was happening. Adam Richardson looked quite comfortable out front, but it's all changed at the end there, and, well, that was certainly enjoyable to watch. The race is half as good as that. I think we'll all be quite happy. As now we do prepare for the Bois F1 115 here at the Texas Motor Speedway in Project IndyCar Season 6. We are just a few moments away now from this race start, and indeed, it will be Kyle Albert who lines up on the front row of this race. Absolutely unbelievable. We are in for an exciting race here today in Project IndyCar. 115 miles in this one, 77 laps. Previous winners at this racetrack have been a relatively varied list of drivers to win here in the past. It's a track that has had quite a few appearances on the calendar previously. First race here back in the first season of Project IndyCar. It was, let me just try and find here. It was Jackson Turner who won the race in Season 1. And then last season, the 2 races that we had here, because we had 2 races compared to the usual one, were won by, again, Jackson Turner and also Adam Liu. So, no previous winners on the grid here today. Let's see how this one plays out. We're getting ready, and we are racing here in the Bois F1 115. They are racing their way towards the first corner, and immediately it's Kyle Albert, the rookie, who will lead down into turn 1. What a story this is. Kyle Albert leads with Jonathan Mills Racing through turns 1 and 2. He's got Adam Richardson right up behind him as Scott Sandover from pole position has dropped down into 3rd place here. Absolutely crazy stuff here to start the race. And immediately, look at the field trying to find a way past each other. But it is Kyle Albert who leads ahead of Adam Richardson. And look at the field behind, closing up. The slipstream having a huge effect now as they make their way down the back straight. Kyle Albert is going to defend that inside line as they dive into turns 1 and 2 here. Kyle Albert runs up in the middle of the track. Up high is Adam Richardson. They make their way down the back straight. Once again, there's a little bit of contact there. A little bit of hip and shoulder in the background. They make their way down the back straight. It is Adam Richardson, though, who has taken the lead away from Kyle Albert as they begin to get a real feel of what these cars like to race with. You see there, the 2 Jonathan Mills Racing drivers side by side. Aston Lewis, the more experienced of the 2 in that little side-by-side battle, does indeed get up ahead there of Kyle Albert. As you see him there, perhaps struggling a little now. He's up into the wall just a tad as we've got a car off with the fire in the corner. As that is Aaron McFall, who has gone around on the way into the pits. He's had to reverse to get the car back going again, so that's already 1 car. The caution cannot be free for this race. Hopefully now, Aaron McFall will get out of the way quite quickly here, as he is now going to be caught up by the entire pack here as they thunder down the main straight. Where is Aaron McFall going to go? They dive into the first corner, and look at that, Aaron McFall getting out of the way very nicely indeed, doing a good job there of just avoiding any potential issues, so well done to him there. That was the right thing to do. But up at the front, Aston Lewis looking to try and find a way past the race leader here, Adam Richardson. He's got very close to winning around this circuit before he won on track back in Season 1, but a speeding the pit lane penalty cost him the victory on that day. But they are now side by side for the lead through 1 and 2. Aston Lewis on the inside. Can he get a nose out front? It looks like he's going to be able to do it. He does indeed get just out ahead here in this race, but Adam Richardson immediately looking back down to the inside. He's going to get the run down into turn 3 here. It's Richardson back out front here. Absolutely crazy scenes here at the start of this race. Sadly, Kyle Albert has dropped back a little bit. A couple of cars have fallen a little bit off of the pack there, other than Aaron McFall, sorry, who's obviously had some troubles. But up at the front, look at them racing hard. Alfonso Silva in this fight as well. Got lots of drivers around here looking to try and get a victory. Alfonso Silva will be looking for his first victory. Aston Lewis looking for, just to add to his collection, same for Adam Richardson. Scott Sandoval would be looking for his first victory. So got a real mix up here in this league group. Got a couple of drivers who have got quite a few wins to their name, and a couple of drivers looking for their first. So this is going to be exciting. We'll see maybe some are willing to risk more than others. With the championship leader missing today's race, Evan Dalton not racing here today, some of these drivers may well have to figure out the championship fight. That could be something that drivers have to consider in today's event. Just, you know, if you're in that title fight, if your rival's missing the race, you'd be happy with a P2. You don't want to risk it all for that win, because the points is such a big swing that you would have. It's not worth risking it all for that sort of situation. So yeah, we're seeing crazy racing up front now. Scott Sandoval will take his car up into the lead of this race. Adam Richardson will drop down into second there as Alfonso Silva trying to find some speed on the outside line. Already we're seeing a lot of changing of positions up at the front. This is really classic Texas at IndyCar. Back before they ruined the track, I think it's fair to say, in the late 2010s. But yes, this is what Texas used to be like. Great stuff up front here, battling it out for the lead. It is now, you see Sandoval on the inside. He's got Lewis right up behind him. Could give him a little bit of a draft. It was Lewis. Has he lost the car there? He has. Lewis has gone around. Lewis spinning down the back straight. Has he collected anyone? It looks like it's just him on his own. Lewis got too close to the back of Sandoval coming out of the corner and has made a mistake and spun around. That is 2 cars now with problems in this race. And the next car that spins will bring out the caution here in this race, presuming they haven't already spun in this one so far. But yes, now you see Sandoval out front a little bit more comfortable here. Silva looking to take second place, and he has indeed taken second place away from Adam Richardson. Richardson looking to try and fight back in this one, try and get back in the fight for that lead. Third place is a bit of a tricky position to be in sometimes. Sometimes it's nice, sometimes it isn't. Second place often feels like that is the preferred place. Of course, the lead, you're the leader, you think, wow, this is the perfect place to be. It's such a simple thing to think about. But as you can see here, the slipstream is so powerful that you almost want to be that guy in second place. You get sort of the choice. You can go, you know what, I don't want to attack, I want to stay in second. Or you can go, you know what, I do want to take the lead. As now, Alfonso Silva is demonstrating, oh, contact! He's come up the racetrack. He's up at the, almost into the wall. How has he saved that? That was unbelievably close. That was just, I think, 9 times out of 10. 99 times out of 100, I'd be willing to say. That is a huge crash that wipes out the top 3. Somehow, wheel-to-wheel contact there through 3 and 4. Alfonso Silva has caught the slide and the graze of contact with Adam Richardson. Adam Richardson's avoided going around as well. Absolutely wonderful there. As it is, Scott Sandoval, who leads this race ahead of Adam Richardson here in this one so far. 2 cars are a lap down in this race so far. I believe I think one of them is a lap down, the other one is approaching to go a lap down here as we look further down the field. So there we see Alfonso Silva in third. There he's got Kyle Albert in his debut in Project IndyCar, currently running in 4th place, with Jonathan Mills in 5th ahead of Aston Lewis, who is down in 6th place here. As we look back up to the front, Adam Richardson is going to just about look for the move here for the race lead. He's looking to the outside down at the front stretch now. Where will he put his car? He's going to go to the outside here for the lead of the race on lap 14 of 77. Trying to find a way past the race leader. Not quite able to do anything about it just yet. That's the thing, when you get that situation where there's just 2 cars out front, it does get a little bit tougher to pass because you haven't got that draft boost from behind, if that makes any sense. Because whilst you think, you know, you only really get any slipstream from the car in front of you, it is true to an extent that if you've got a car right up behind you, they can sort of help clear the air from behind your car and almost sort of extend the sort of the slipstream effect. It's a really strange concept to get your head around, but believe me when I say, if you've got a car right up behind you, it will give you a little bit of a boost going down the straights in the same way that it would if you had a car in front of you. Not quite as powerful, but it does give you that sort of difference in speed there. As we look further down the field really spread out here now, but I imagine we will have a caution before the end of this race today. Out front, it is Sandover versus Richardson at the moment, as then we look further down, 2.5 seconds back to Afonso, and then it is a further almost 10 seconds to Kyle and Jono, and then 18 seconds back to Lewis, with Aaron McFall 34 seconds off of the pack in this one so far. So yeah, this one, it's really started off in absolute mayhem, and it's beginning to change how it feels in this one now, as we have just two cars sort of running away with it out front, but it certainly could all change in this race. So yeah, let's see how this one plays out. Richardson still struggling to just find a way past the race leader here. All over him, but not quite able to find that space to take the lead away from Adam Richardson here. From Scott Sandover, sorry. But we've got some battles third on the order. We've got Kyle Albert, Kyle Albert, I believe, racing here with the lapped car of Aaron McFall. So that these two seem to be having some fun further down the field, battling away here. Of course, Aaron McFall having that spin early on in the race. It has led him to have some troubles in this one now. Going forward, he's just a lap down, but if he sticks in a group here, like they're doing currently, they will go quick enough to keep him from going another lap down, which is crucial, because you get, if any car's a lap or more down, if a safety car does come out, a caution comes out. Oh, we've got a car around. Who is that? That is someone on the back straight. Is that Afonso? Afonso has gone around. The caution is going to come out here. But Afonso Silva, who's spun down the back straight away, and we are going to need a caution here. The third car has spun in this race so far, and that is drama in this race here in the Bois F1 150. It's just going to change the dynamic of this race now, as we just be a few moments away here from the caution. Give me a few seconds. I should have been more prepared. And the caution is now officially out here in the Bois F1 150. The field will begin to slow down. You see them lifting off the throttle there on the right hand side of your screen. And the pit lane will be closed as well, so no one has the chance to pit to just gain an advantage. The field gets bunched up before they then get the chance to pit. I'll let them know that the lapped cars can get one lap back. One lap back. Sorry, my mic went a bit quiet there. They can get one lap back under this yellow. As you see there, that's Aaron McFall just unlapping himself there. And everyone else, I believe, is still on the lead lap. So we will let them all bunch up here. Aaron McFall, we won't wait for him to bunch up because he's a lap down anyway. And if you do get that lap back, you are then forced to start at the back of the field, basically no matter what. So you can't sort of get a lap back and then not pit and then end up in the lead. So yeah. We will open up pit lane now. So at the end of this lap we will see, I imagine quite a lot of cars will choose to pit here. The fuel already you see is at 27.9 litres for the race leader there. There's a brief idea now of how much the fuel is different for mileage throughout the field. You will see here some of these drivers that have been without a slipstream from a little bit longer, noticeably Aston Lewis, got very low fuel left compared, I say very low, it's about a litre less than the leaders who have been battling up front here. As what has happened here, a couple of cars, I've got a couple of cars pitting here, and a couple of cars staying out, so that is two of the Jonathan Mills racing cars staying out. So that's Johnny Mills up front, head of Kyle Albert. These two trying something different. A bit of a risky play here for this team. As we see pit stops going on here, refueling. The net race leader, you could say, Scott Sandover, refueling the car, although it doesn't look like it. He will now leave the pit box. No, he's been jumped. Who has come out ahead? It is Aston Lewis, the driver who had issues in that first sort of run in this race with his problems early in the race. Just 24 laps in now, just almost a third of the way through. He had some troubles at that spin, but he is now going to be out in third place for this restart. The pit crew working wonders here for Aston Lewis, as Adam Richardson will jump up into what will be a net P2, but is fourth on the road. And it's Alfonso Silva's Scott Sandover has gone from leader all the way down into sixth place now. That's not good for him, as the pit crew really taking their time on that pit stop, I think it's fair to say. So unfortunate luck for our one-time race leader, but we've still got a long way to go in this one, so do not count out more drama and a chance for anyone to get back into the fight here. I see the field is beginning to bunch up again here, just lining up on the inside, just beginning to line up into their positions, and we can confirm we will be green at the end of this lap, so green this time around. Just getting them all into single file here. Single file restarts in IndyCar, just like in real life. And it will be John O'Mills who leads his teammate, and his second team, his two teammates there of Kyle Albert and then Aston Lewis, to the restart here in the Bright F1 115. We've still got another 52 laps to go. A long way to go in this race, but we're starting to see some changes at the front already. They're making their way out of 3 and 4 now. They get ready for the restart. Jonathan Mills chooses when to go. It's anywhere between the start of the pit wall and the start-finish line. He has gone already. We are back to green flag racing here in the Bois F1 115. Once again, racing. And the field strings out, and you may think, oh, it's all single file, how boring. Just give it a couple of corners and they'll be on, not literally hopefully, but on top of each other very soon here. So Jonathan Mills leads the way. Kyle Albert in second place, looking to try and take the lead away from his teammate. He goes a little bit high here. You can see him trying to get that car to steer through the corners, as behind them you've got Aston Lewis and then Adam Richardson on the back of him. Then it is Alfonso Silva, Scott Sandover and Aaron McFall brings up the rear of the field. They're all maintaining position here on this first run, or the first lap of this restart. But now the field will close up, it will bunch up and start to fan out as they get closer and closer to the front. Got Aston Lewis here, looking for a move on his teammate, down the back straight, trying to get up into second place. On the outside of his teammate there, you can see Kyle Albert sliding up the racetrack just a little bit, as then there's contact. Oh, a bit of contact, that's going to end badly. Aston Lewis around, he's up into the air, he's taken out Alfonso Silva there as well, so that's 2 cars around in this crash. As you see, Alfonso Silva is upside down on the main straight here. Drama in this one is he appears to be stuck, and we may have to... Oh no, he's managed to reset the car. That is good news. So the caution will not come out there. It's drama, though, in this race. But Alfonso Silva with problems there, as he has collided Aston Lewis. Contact with Adam Richardson cost them a lot of time there, as now it is Jonathan Mills who continues to lead this race ahead of Kyle Albert. But the two of them have broken away out front now, as that is that contact may have split up the field just a little bit. And now we see it is Scott Sandover, Adam Richardson and Aaron McFall here, all in this little group, battling it out for third place. If they work together, they probably could reel in the race leaders, as there's 3 of them compared to the 2 out front. But at the moment, this group battling quite hard, and that will hurt their chances of catching back up to the leaders in this race. Now, it's looking like, again, we're seeing a change of dynamic as we see. Look at that, blocking down the back straight. Richardson really trying to stay in position, but he hasn't managed to cover the inside there, I don't think. Sandover is inside. Oh, they're free wide. This could end badly. They're banging wheels through 3 and 4, and somehow, once again, driving talent put on display, as Aaron McFall holds the car on the outside and manages to keep them all in a straight line there, going through 3 and 4. Oh, it's crashed! Straight on! Sandover's gone straight on heavily into the wall. What has happened here? And the caution will fly here. Pit lane will be closed, and the caution will fly. Drama in this one, as Sandover, what a huge hit there. Looks like Aaron McFall got caught up in that one as well. The 2 fast from the racing cars collided here, and well, that was dramatic. I don't know what happened, we just missed it just off our screens, but it looked to me like Scott Sandover just went straight on almost. There must have been some sort of contact for that to happen, and that has saved both Alfonso Silva and Aston Lewis, who are looking like they may well go a lap down soon. They've both managed to stay on the lead lap, which means that they will be able to pit with the leaders and get whatever track position they end up getting here. So good news for those two. A quick caution was what they needed. And now we see here, John O'Mills. Was this the caution that team banked on? Did JMR bank on a caution coming out very soon here, as the pit lane will be open this time? Or will it? Should I see if I can get the message out in time? I did, I hope. I think I did. that lag has clearly meant that hasn't. Let's see what they do. If they all stay out, I'll give them a level lap to do that. I hit send before they went past the pit entry, but I'm not sure if that message got across or not, so I'm not sure how long that takes to send. I'm using PS messages on my phone to send messages, so that they know what's going on when the caution's coming out, when pit lane's open and closed. A bit like sort of what race direction would do in like a Formula 1 race, but instead of having loads and loads of banks of computers and tens of people doing it, it's just me commentating with an iPhone in my hand. So I'll give them another chance here, just in case that took a bit longer to send than it should have. And yeah, they'll have another lap and another attempt here to come into the pit lane, just to make sure. And yet, it looks like they are going to pit, so it does appear that that message took its time getting sent. So apologies for the confusion there to the drivers and to anyone watching. But yes, we've got another lap here under yellow, and Johnny Mills is indeed coming into the pits, followed in by his teammate, make their way on the apron, and into the pit lane they go. Jonathan Mills will lead his way into the pits with his teammate also pitting. So does Adam Richardson, Scott Sandover, and Aston Lewis are all in the pits here, as Aaron McFall and Afonso Silva both stay out. And we see these cars making their way down pit lane and beginning to park up in their pit stalls. It was Johnny Mills out of this group who was the first into the pits, and it looks like he's going to be the first out. He is by a long way the first car out here. What about Kyle Albert? Oh, he's got some problems here getting the car to get serviced by the looks of things. Some issues here for Kyle Albert. But up at the front, it looks like Johnny Mills has got out in the what will be the third place, ahead of Adam Richardson, Aston Lewis. Oh, it's Johnny Mills. Is he sped in the pits? He's got a red little marker next to his name. Has Johnny Mills just sped in the pits? Let's have a look. He has. Jonathan Mills has sped in the pits, according to the game, I must add. So maybe that'll be looked into after the race. But yes, drama here, as has Jonathan Mills turned off his pit limiter just a little bit too soon in this race, and has he got himself a 10-second time penalty, which would be penalised with a drive-through penalty if he chooses to do it under either green or yellow flag conditions. We see Kyle Albert still going down the pit lane. It looks like he's been able to refuel, yes, but only up to 45 litres, so it looks like he maybe doesn't know how to get that increased, or maybe that was what he was going for, who knows. So maybe a helpful nod over from one of his teammates could help him out here. But yes, now it is Aaron McFall who leads the race under caution. We'll wait for Kyle Albert to catch back up to the field, as we see a difference in fuel here. The top two both with, well, the leader has 38 litres, second place with 55 litres, the rest with 68 litres, and then Kyle Albert with 44 litres. So a few different numbers to keep an eye on in this race. Of course, the more litres you have, the further you can go. 70 litres is the most that can fit into these cars, and we will have the field caught up here this time. So we'll be saying green this time. As we now will get ready for the restart here in the Bois F1 115 around the Texas Motor Speedway. It'll be Aaron McFall who leads them up to green flag racing, and he goes. Now we are back racing here, and immediately you see a couple of drivers ducking out of line to try and find their way past the driver ahead of them. That's Adam Richardson looking for the move there, as Afonso Silva immediately looking to try and take the lead away here from Aaron McFall going through turns 1 and 2. It's Afonso Silva versus Aaron McFall down the front straight, or down the back straight here. Adam McFall has taken the lead here, as Adam Richardson going to try and get past to take the lead here as well here. That's a bold move to go to the outside. Oh, that's going to be close to the wall and exit. It looks like he's just about survived it though. Adam Richardson trying to take the lead here away from Afonso Silva on the inside. Aaron McFall though staying on that inside line, has given a bit of a boost to, oh, it's spinning there. Big crash in the middle of the pack. That's at least 1, 2 cars around. That's 3 cars around, I believe. Multiple cars getting caught up in this incident. And let's see how many cars have gone around there. That's at least 2. What has happened here is it looks like I think everyone else has survived by the looks of things by some miracle. Only 2 cars have gone around here. That being Scott Sandover and Adam Richardson. That surprised me. That looked for me like that was going to be a big crash, but somehow only 2 cars went around in that accident. So yeah, Johnny Mills dropping back though. Looks like he may well have been caught up in that one. So yeah, drama here. You're now 1 away from the caution. Oh, was that a spin? Who was that going around? Was that Aaron McFall? It is. Aaron McFall has gone around, and the caution is going to come out here. Pit lane will once again be closed, and the caution will come out here in this race. As Aaron McFall spun coming through turns 3 and 4 there. And you know, I said in qualifying, you've really got to get your car as close to the inside line as you possibly can, just to try and make it the shortest run through the corner. But that's the risk. The closer you get, especially when you're in the slipstream with someone else, you have a little bit less downforce. You touch that inside line, you touch the apron, and the car will just come around on you so quickly, and most drivers will not be able to save that one. I think it's 90% luck if you manage to save a spin when that happens. So yeah, the caution back out here. We are just over halfway through this race now. Lap 40 of 77 here. And see the field trying to just get themselves slow down, get themselves into the correct order. They may have been 3 wide as the caution was called, so that could be why the confusion is happening here. The pit lane will be open this time around. If anyone has any questions or any predictions for the race, please feel free to ask in the stream. Especially under these cautions, it gives us something extra to talk about whilst we wait for the races to restart. But the pit lane will be open this time around, so we will see perhaps some pit stops here, especially from those that perhaps stayed out on previous restarts in this race so far. Let's see what they do. Let's see. Alfonso Silva makes his way down towards the pit lane. He is staying out by the looks of things. Kyle, but doing the same. Aston Lewis, he will turn left down pit lane, and he's joined by one other car, it looks like, as that is Scott Sandover, who joins him. 2 cars will pit here under this pit window. Aston Lewis will drop to 6th, and Scott Sandover will drop to 7th here, assuming that they don't swap positions on pit lane. Now we see Sandover and Aston just making their way off of pit lane now. Aston did indeed manage to maintain that position ahead of Scott Sandover in the Fast One Racing car. So let's, in case any of you are interested in which team each driver runs for, we've got Alfonso Silva in the lead at the moment. He races for Pythagon Racing. And it is Kyle Albert in second. He drives for Jonathan Mills Racing. The same goes for Jonathan Mills himself, unsurprisingly. Then Aaron McFall races for Fast Formula Racing, with Adam Richardson racing for Phoenix Motorsport, Aston Lewis also racing for Jonathan Mills Racing, and Scott Sandover, currently running 7th, he drives for Fast Formula Racing as well. Most of these teams have 2 cars, a couple of them have 3. I think maybe 1 or 2 might only have the 1 car, but it started the season fairly even, but then as drivers join, if the drivers join before drivers leave, you end up with more 3-car teams, but then teams, if the drivers then leave from teams that were 2-car teams rather than 3-car teams, you end up with 1-car teams as well, so it all ends up a little bit crazy as the season goes on. But yeah, hopefully next season it will be a little bit better than how it has been this season, with the sort of balance of the teams. But only the top 2 cars within each team can score points in the team's championship, so it keeps it fair, relatively fair for the teams. Obviously, it's hard to have it perfect, but just try and do the best we can in this series. But we now will be green this time here in the Bois F1 115 here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Alfonso Silva back in the pack down, getting ready for the restart, trying to find his way to victory lane here. Makes his way off of the final corner, and he puts his foot back down to the floor. We are green flag racing once again here in the Bois F1 115. Good restart there for the race leader, but immediately Kyle Albert looking to try and take that lead away from him as they dive into turns 1 and 2 here. And look at that, Kyle Albert on the outside of the race leader, looking to try and take the lead away from him as they make their way out of turn 2 now. Will the momentum carry? No, not quite able to do anything there. Not able to clear him as they go down the back straight. He's now going to defend from Jonathan Mills, who goes to the outside. 3 wide for the lead. This could end in tears. There could be contact. There is contact. Are they going to make it through? They are. What a amazing racing up front here. Smile, it's Kyle there. Kyle Albert will almost take the lead. He's got a little bit of help from his teammate behind him. Kyle trying to take the lead here as they're 3 wide again. 3 wide again for the lead. Kyle Albert this time falls off a little bit worse. Oh, there's contact. Kyle Albert heavily in the wall there. And that will count as one, as he lost quite a bit of time there in that crash. And indeed now, Kyle Albert has dropped back from that 2-second gap. So now That'll be one car to the caution counters. Now we see contact again. A bit of wall contact in the background, but up at the battle for the lead here out front. It's Aston Lewis, who is up into the lead now with Alfonso Silva and Aaron McFall also in this fight. Oh, it's changing so often. It's hard to see what's happening in this race. Aston Lewis leads the race now ahead of McFall and Silva, who are side by side for second. Silva, though, got a massive run on exit there. Looks like he might have had a chance at getting the lead, but had to lift a little bit as they thunder past the camera there as they make their way down the front stretch now into turn 1. Once again here, you see them fanning out to try and get some clear air on their car, because when you're in the slipstream, you really struggle for downforce, and you can make it work, and it's obviously worth it for the overall lap time because you've got the slipstream, you're quicker on the straights. But that's why you see them sort of fanning out wider in the corners to try and get that air on the front wing. Oh, that's a car hopping up in the air, and that's around. Sandover has gone around down the front straight there as he spins the car. Nice 360 there. As his car went, oh, that was close. Coming back onto the racetrack, that was scary. But back up at the front, it's Aston Lewis who leads ahead of Alfonso Silva. Alfonso Silva's got his nose inside though. Could this be a change of lead here? Alfonso Silva looking to try and retake the lead of the Bar F1 at 1:15. He's going to just about get his car ahead out in the lead of this race once again. But the pack and the top 5 all nose to tail here in this race. Let's look there, it's Aston Lewis looking to try and take the lead back as they go into 1 and 2. He's gone to the outside of Silva to take the lead away for Jonathan Mills Racing, but then you've got Aaron McFall on the inside. He's going to try and get involved here. He's right in the wheel tracks of Alfonso Silva out front. Silva leads, head of McFall, then it's Lewis, and then Richardson, with Mills just dropping back a little bit here. He's had a bad couple of corners. He needs to try and sort of amp that pace up. He wants to stay in this group, but up at the lead, it's Silva, who's having to defend for his life to hold on to this lead here. They go into turn 1. They're free wide again here in the Blur F1 1:15. What a race we are witnessing. A Silva to the inside, then it's Lewis and McFall there, all its right. Richardson's going to almost make it 4 wide down the back straight away. This is absolutely crazy stuff here in this race. Look at that, McFall on the outside trying to make something happen as all this racing has allowed Mills to get back in the fight here. Richardson's right in the mix as well. Brilliant stuff here as they're side by side banging wheels for the lead here in an oval race. Wonderful scenes here as they go down the back straight again. We've got Silver on the inside. Let's contact, big crash down the back straight away. Huge crash, but how hard they were racing. That was inevitable there as the pit lane will now be closed and the caution will come out as we've got cars flying in the background there. And that is drama here in this race. The caution back out here as we've got multiple cars involved. Kyle Albert was involved in that one. Aaron McFall looks like he's been caught up in this one. Oh, my lord, he's gone high. That was clearly a very big crash there. Several drivers involved in it. Aston Lewis, though, Jonathan Mills and Adam Richardson all look to have survived that fairly unscathed. Alfonso Silva, one of the first drivers involved in that crash, has got out of that one pretty much surviving without too bad of a situation. As we then see Kyle Albert, he is in 5th, then it is McFall, and then Sandover there, who is in 7th place now. Wow, that was a crazy few laps, and honestly, I think may have needed the caution there, just to all of us, viewers, drivers, commentator, just to calm down, settle our nerves, and get ready for this final race here. Final few laps of this race. I say few. So you've got 25 laps to go in this race, and I'm wow, it's been entertaining so far. The field nose tail here, getting ready for the pits to be open again. Yes, the pits will be open again for this next time past the pit lane. So the drivers will receive that message and know that they'll have the opportunity to pit. They don't have to pit. Of course, you stay out, you get all that track position, so it's tempting, especially if you know your fuel's looking pretty good. So let's see what these drivers do here. Stay their way through 3 and 4. Who will pit, who will stay out? It looks like everyone is going to be staying on the racetrack for now. Oh, look at that. Kyle Albert's thinking about it there, going for pit lane. Especially if you sort of, yes, we do see a couple of cars go to pit lane, and that's McFall and Kyle will go into the pits. Albert there leads them in, and McFall, did he stay out? No, he does pit indeed, so that's 2 cars in pit lane again here. Kyle Albert will go for a refuel, and he parks his car in his pit box, and he will get some fuel for the rest of this race. Another driver in, of course, Aaron McFall. He is going to get a top off here as well, these two, just making sure they can get a little bit further into the races now. Kyle Albert up to 51 litres, which means, there's a little bit of contact here under caution. Brings them basically level with all the leaders, so I imagine that all these guys will now be able to make it to the end of this race. Let's see what has Aaron McFall done in his car. he has also gone with sort of around 50, so it seems that is the magic number. Let's see who's got less than 50. Jonathan Mills got a little bit less, so is Adam Richardson. A lot less for Afonso Silva, but everyone else sort of seems so. I'd say Jonathan Mills, Adam Richardson, they're very much on, I would say they're sort of lower end of what you need to get to the end, or at least to be sort of on the main strategy. Afonso Silva, he is the one I'd keep an eye on here. It's a bold call what he's doing at the moment, and I'm not sure how it's going to work out for him, as he's definitely trying something no one else to stride, which, you know, if you follow the leader, you're going to follow the leader. That's how it is in racing. Let's see how this one goes in this final 24 laps now. It will be come the restart in this race, and then it'll be 23 as we've just crossed the start-finish line now. So we will be green at the end of this lap, and after we've had a couple of sort of 10-20 lap stints in this race where it's looked quite calm, quite single file, not too much to worry about. Had a couple where it's sort of been a couple, maybe 2 or 3 cars battling for the lead, and then we had that last sort of stint of the race where it was utter mayhem, really. But, you know, fun mayhem in the best meaning. I know it ended with that crash, but I mean, if they crash when they're racing 4 wide almost for 10 laps in a row, that to me as a commentator, that's okay. That's an excusable time to crash. You know, that's, you know, you're pushing that hard. You're 4 wide for the lead at times. It's going to happen. It's when it's 2 wide, you're off on your own and doing nothing, battling it out for P6. That's when it's sort of a bit like, was that necessary? But here we are, getting ready for the restart. Aston Lewis looking for his first win of the season, as is everyone in this field. They're racing again here in the Bois F1 115. Lewis gets a good restart here ahead of Jonathan Mills, and then comes the rest of the field filing their way through turns 1 and 2 now for this restart. Side by side already for the lead, 3 wide as they go into turns 3 and 4 there. Looks like Silva had to back out just a little bit here as he's right up the back of Lewis. Oh, look at that. That was, I think, Richardson trying to look to the outside, but he got blocked off a little bit there. Wasn't room to be found. Mills finds his way out front. There is a banging wheels for 2 teammates out for the battle for the lead here. Lewis on the inside, and he's got his teammate Jonathan Mills on his outside. Behind them it's Silva and Richardson, and then the rest of the pack follows in formation almost, as you've got a couple of cars of McFall and Albert who didn't quite haven't had the restart they perhaps would have wanted here. As up at the front, Mills still side by side with Lewis for the lead of this race here. Still racing hard, making their way down the back straight. Oh, look at that, Mills looks to the inside there. Has he found space? Oh, that was a brave move there from Mills, just about making his way down the inside. Perhaps if that wasn't his teammate, there may have been a very different outcome there. Oh, no, that's Sandover making a 3-1 on the front side. They bang wheels going through the quad oval. They are now 3 wide as we see them racing down into turns 1 and 2 again. Or that could be contact there. Lewis up into the wall, he's around. Lewis spins down the racetrack. Is he going to be able to be avoided there? It looks like it as he bangs into the inside wall. 1 car is around here in this run. Mills and Sandover now. These are the 2 cars that get out front after that moment. These 2 looking to try and take victory here. Silva just behind them there. Silva with the least fuel of anyone in this race at the moment. He's going to try and maybe save a bit of fuel, or maybe hope for lots and lots of cautions. Or maybe he can just go to the end. Who knows in this race. Been crazy so far. I doubt that is going to change anytime soon. As you see Silva looking to the inside. Can he now take the lead away? He is. 2 cars down the back straight away. Silva will get down the inside and up into the lead of this race now. Mills and Sandover dropping back a little bit, but now they're going to fall in behind the new race leader, and now they will have a chance to try and retake the lead here as Mills looks to the inside, going into turn 1, trying to find something here to become the race leader with a little bit of contact. Oh, up into the wall there goes Silva. Looks like there was contact there between him and maybe Sandover. That's going to allow Richardson to get past and up into 3rd place in this race now. So this is really turning out to be quite the crazy race here in Project IndyCar. I mean, we've had a very entertaining start to the season, and it seems like it's going to continue doing it as we sort of begin the preparations for the sort of our season's version of the month of May for those that follow IndyCar in real life, as we build up for the Indianapolis 250 in this. 500, of course, is the great race in real life. But yes, now you see Mills being pressured by Sandover for that lead of the race. Then it is Richardson right in behind them, trying to get the lead here. Try and be that car out front But equally, I've said before, the second place isn't that bad, really. You've got choices when you're in second place. Richardson will be looking to try and get himself up into this fight as they're still side by side, all bang, wheels through 3 and 4. Looks like they're going to keep it in a straight line here. Really can see these drivers pushing the limits as Richardson on the inside going to try and get up into second place, not quite able to find space there as he makes his way now through turns 1 and 2. But fanning out again here through these corners, trying to just find that little bit of an advantage, that millisecond, that hundredth of a second that gives you the edge over your rivals. It's the difference in racing, and it always has been, and I imagine it always will be here. And who knows, at the end of this race, that millisecond, that hundredth, that absolute millimetre could be the difference between winning and losing. Because, well, Texas Motor Speedway, when it comes to close finishes, it's delivered in the past, and it could well deliver in the future here today. Hopefully, it delivers in the present. Sandover out in the front, but not for long though, as Mills on the outside going to try and get the lead back here. They're still racing so hard out front. It's brilliant to watch here. Mills on the outside as Richardson now going to look to the inside of Mills. Can he get up into second place? Oh, he just about gets blocked off there by Mills, who maintains that second position. Richardson going all the way to the outside to try and find some air on his front wing. Right in the slipstream there of Jonathan Mills. Down the back straight, look at them trying to find a way past each other. Sandover leads the race still, is battling behind us, giving them the chance to just sort of control the race a little bit more here, as we are now 12 laps remaining in this event here in the Project IndyCar season. Oh, with the contact, wow, what was that? That looks like lag maybe that caused that moment from Sandover. His car suddenly darted up the racetrack. That was something I was not expecting to see down the front stretch, but I don't think that may have helped him. He's actually built a big gap there, as we see Johnny Mills is still racing side by side with Richardson. This could hurt these two. If these two don't sort of get single file soon, that could allow Sandover to pull away out front a little bit, and they do indeed settle it down just for a few moments here, and that'll allow them to fall back single file here as they go into turns 1 and 2. See Mills trying to sort of cover off Richardson's potential attacks here as they go down the back straight. This is thrilling racing here, as at the end of this one there will be 10 laps remaining in the race. This is looking like it could well be a grandstand finish to this race so far. Sandover still leads just ahead of Mills, and Richardson is in third place. Sandover still leads, but just by the tiniest of margins, I think it's fair to say, as Mills doing all he can to try and find that way past Richardson, exploring all the limits of the track there to try and make his way up into this group, as Aaron McFall has dropped back from this lead group quite a lot, as we've got this next group here of Afonso Silva with Adam Richardson, who's actually dropped back into this group. He made a mistake there and he's dropped back into this group, making it a group of 3 now for third place. But it could well soon become the battle for the lead. If these guys work together, they could reel in the top 2, because 3 cars working together is sort of simple maths. Better than having 2 cars working together. There, as I say that, they don't look like they're working together very well here, as Silva immediately looks to the inside of Adam Richardson. Now Richardson, he's an experienced racer. If he slots in behind here and just sort of follows Silva, these two could still put a challenge here for victory, especially with Kyle Albert right behind them. But it's all going to come down to that, as we see a car making their way out of the way through turns 1 and 2. Aston Lewis going a lap down, just trying to stay out of the way here as everyone follows behind. And just see here, they make their way down the back straight. Sandover continues to lead here. Mills doing all he can to try and find a way past, and for those that are wondering, no more cautions. Lap at which no more cautions can come out in this race. The leader has to have 3 full laps and in this case on an oval, half a lap remaining for the caution to be able to come out. Which of course means 3 full laps means it has to be before the start of lap 75, which means halfway through. Lap 74 is all around. That's Kyle Albert. That is 1 car around there in this race. So that is now 2 cars in collectively in this one, as Aaron McFall has spun as well. What has happened here to Aaron McFall? He's stopped on the front straight. He has. And the caution is going to come out here. We've got a late caution here. Pit lane will be closed. And just as I start to discuss when the pit lane is closed, when the caution cannot come out, it comes out. Drama here in this race. As you see there, that's a stopped car on the back straight of a Kyle Albert. Looks like he's having some trouble, and the caution is out. In the Bois F1 115, we have a sprint to the finish, ladies and gentlemen, as out front it is Sandover, who leads the way ahead of Mills. Then comes Adam Richardson in third place there, as it all kicked off late on here Alfonso Silva in 4th, then it is McFall in 5th, Albert in 6th, Lewis in 7th. Drama in this race, and we now are definitely in for an exciting finish in this race. I believe we have 2 cars a lap down, those being Kyle Albert and Aston Lewis. Pit lane still closed here as the lap cars are making their way back around to the rear of the field. As now the top 5 is all together. 2 cars now just waiting on them. And this is a finish that will go down in history, quite possibly. Whether that be for the good or for the bad, who knows. But we will have a sprint to the finish here in this race. And the pit lane will be open this time around for all the drivers. Let's see what they do. Will anyone pit here? It's going to be close come the finish. I don't think anyone can really risk pitting in this situation. It's so late in the race, the track position is so important. Has Alfonso Silva managed to somehow make his fuel gamble pay off here? He's got 2.6 litres, surely he has to pit here. Is he really going to risk it? From 4th position, 2.6 litres, that's not making the finish. Surely he can't save enough fuel to make it to the end of this race here. That is a surprise there as the pit lane that was open there. And we will now get ready as the next lap around. It'll be a 1-lap sprint to the finish. 1.5 miles. Green this time. We've got 1.5 miles of pace speed and then 1.5 miles of 200 miles per hour. That should scare you, I think. It's going to be an exciting one. Scott Sandover looking for his first win in Project IndyCar. Johnny Mills looking for his first win in Project IndyCar. Adam Richardson looking for a win to add to his long list of wins in IndyCar. Alfonso Silva looking for his first win. Aaron McFall looking for his first win. Kyle Albert looking for his first win. Aston Lewis looking to add to his list of wins in IndyCar. 2 drivers in this field have won before. The rest are all yet to win. This could go down in history. We are making our way through 3 and 4 now. The drivers getting ready for the restart. The restart that will decide the race. A 1-lap shootout to the finish. Scott Sandover makes his way out of the final corner now, and his foot to the floor. We are back to green flag racing here in the Bar F1 115. They start making their way down towards turns 1 and 2 once again here for the final time in this race. Can anyone stop Scott Sandover? Johnny Mills all over the back of him here. Sandover leads as they come out of turn 2 here. Mills looking to do anything he can to try and take the lead away. He's going to the outside of the leader. He's taken the lead away, but will it be enough? He's clear going into turns 3 and 4. Will this be enough? Has he got the edge to try and take victory here? As they make their way towards the start-finish line, they come towards it, and it's going to be Johnny Mills who wins for the first time in Project IndyCar. What a race! What a finish! What a drive! Well, that one was dramatic, but of course, that is all pending that penalty for Johnny Mills. If that penalty was legitimate, then it will be Scott Sandover that wins the race. If it was illegitimate, which is, I think, even if it was legitimate, I think Johnny Mills will be appealing that one just in case. But assume for now, Johnny Mills is your race winner today in Project IndyCar, and we'll wait and see. If you want to find out who actually ends up winning this race, it'll be either Johnny Mills or Scott Sandover, I imagine. I hope that the history doesn't have to get any further down than that. But it'll be Johnny Mills, provisionally, for us that are watching. Johnny Mills won that race, and then it'll all come down to whether or not his penalty does get removed. Of course, you may be wondering, how can you get a speeding in the pit lane penalty? That was not legitimate. I can speak from personal experience. I have had that happen around here where the car it'll have pit limiter on, it'll be just cruising along the pit lane, nothing changes, but the car will suddenly go, you know what I fancy going to 38 miles per hour, and you won't gain an advantage, it won't be anything. It will just, it's just a glitch in the game. The driver can do nothing about, sadly, and hopefully we saw that race decide on the track rather than the steward's office, but it wouldn't be the first time that's happened around this racetrack. But that is it here for this week in Project IndyCar. I hope you've all enjoyed it. I certainly did, commentating on it. Great qualifying session, great race. close finish. There's not much more you can ask for when racing, especially around an oval. So I hope you all enjoyed it. Join us back again next week for NASCAR GT on the Monday at 7 p.m. Then it'll be British IndyCar this time again next week for round 4 of the season, which will be the Indy GP, the Grand Prix around the Indianapolis road course, and a week after that it'll be the Indianapolis 250. So do make sure to tune in for that one. That is it now for today. Hope you all enjoyed it. Until next time, goodbye.